5 years ago, actually it's nearly 6 now, isn't it? Science and news, which is all, by the way, the only thing that exists, story, and nothing can prove story doesn't exist. I've said it time and time again in all my videos. Almost 6 years ago, we were fooled by certain story, weren't we? And now the latest one is, I told you a few videos, don't be fooled. But anyway, the latest one is AI becoming sentient. That it's going to have consciousness and understand what it's doing. More or less be conscious. Well, consciousness is debatable, most definitely, whether it comes to humans or AI. It's one of those stories that nothing can prove doesn't exist. Nothing can prove a story doesn't exist. The only thing that exists, story. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. I've listened to a few YouTube videos about these people that are very, very, very intelligent and have massive credentials based on going to some universities, schools, being lectured by the only thing that exists. Being lectured by story. They have massive memories, like data storage. They are able to absorb massive amounts of data and be able to process that data and come up with story after story after story. Let me get this very, very clearly straight. If you can get your head around AI and large language modeling, you will see that there's only one thing that exists, and it's what I've repeated numerous times. The only thing that exists, story. It's not going to ever be sentient. Now, if you don't know what sentient is, just look it up. In other words, it's not going to understand what it's doing. It's not going to be conscious of what it's doing, because the only thing it does is one thing, and that's the only thing that exists. Story. It's never ever going to be sentient. It's only ever going to be sentence. And that's it. Sentence after sentence after sentence. Have you not already seen it? In other words, story after story after story. And story about story and story of story and story. It's all story. Now, that's why I call it sentence. AI is sentence. You can test it if you like. See what it does. Does it have feelings? Like I said, if you understand or delve into, and I can't believe these scientists even saying it, these men and women, people that talk the talk, story the story, are trying to keep the flame burning, because it's over. It's all finished. It's over and done with. What's happened? We have got to peak story. There are so many stories now that we're starting to regurgitate stuff to keep the flames burning. That's all it is. It's at peak story, and it's at critical mass. and it's going to implode. Actually, it already has. Because have you not seen what they even call it? It's called feed, isn't it? Have you seen your feed? What you're being fed lately? What is it you're actually being fed? Have a good look into the black mirror. And that is obviously your phone before it switches into a feed. It's obvious now. It's too obvious that it's quite humorous to even contemplate that a piece of sand that turns into a microchip, silica sand, is capable of being aware and conscious of itself. Maybe it is. And maybe I'm telling you a story. And that's my point. You see, I'm doing exactly the only thing that can be done. And that is story. It's very clever, isn't it? Story. Clever story means a story about cleverness. They use really important story words, don't they? Have you noticed that my story words are very plain? I'm an Italian boy, but not very well educated. Grew up in a small country town, public schooling, but I do have the same ability that you have that's listening to this, and anyone who is super intelligent, and anyone that is super powerful, or anyone that is grossly poor and grossly unintelligent, we all have the same thing. It's all included, and it's all inclusive. We talk about being inclusive these days. Well, there's the one thing that is the equalizer, the only inclusive thing that they have, that you have and I have, is the only thing that exists. Story. Have a look around. It's in fact, don't even have a look around. Don't do anything. And there it is. It's there. I talked about my last footy. I talked about how waking up. Well, everyone wakes up. The richest, the poorest, the powerful, the weak, the sick, the hungry, the fulfilled, the unfulfilled, all have exactly the same thing. Story. They all have story. It's impossible to be not the only thing that exists. Story. And nothing, absolutely nothing at all, can prove story does not exist. And I'll just remind you that even those words I just said are story. AI, or artificial intelligence, or AI is weird because it's almost like they're talking about an I. You know, the I, like you and I. Oh, there's an I over there walking down the street. AI. There's one thing that you can be rest assured of and guaranteed of 100%, that it is never ever going to be sentient. It is always going to be sentence. Because the only thing that exists is sentence. that sentences. So you are sentenced to a life sentence. It's very simple. It's very ordinary. I don't make it complicated at all. And it's really, really quite amazing. And it's not amazing in like exciting. It's amazing in that it's so simple. We've completely glossed over it with the only thing that we can gloss over it with. That's the amazing thing. We've completely glossed over it and overlooked it with the only thing that we can overlook it with. Story. Anyway, it's not sentient, it's sentence. It's sentencing. That's all it does. AI